Hey, how you doing? This is Don from Padlock Technologies, owner and principal. Want to talk about something really near and dear to my heart in terms of engineering and stuff like that. I'm going to talk about it's not just ice. It's not ice, right? Your problem is not ice. And what does that mean? Well, very simple. I talk to a lot of clients, and they either brought ice, have no clue how to use it. That's fine. Or they did some partial configurations and now it's all messed up. And what I start to realize, it's very simple. Um, it's not ice, right? Normally, it's the implementation of ice that's the problem. And unfortunately, when you try to tell customers that if they have their technical staff there, they get kind of defensive, and rightfully so, because there's two sides to this, right? There's the design side, and then there's the implementation side, and then a subcategory in implementation is configuration. And if you look at that flow, for the most part, design is always going to be more important than your implementation and AKA configuration stuff, right? Why? Because I always tell engineers and I tell, other consultants, great engineering will never fix bad design. So if you design it wrong to begin with, your implementation and configurations are already going to be wrong because you built it wrong from the jump, from the design standpoint. So, what you want to do is you want to make sure that if you're going to implement ICE in your environment or implement any technology in your environment, that it is properly designed architecturally. Does it make sense? Again, if you got a two node cluster and you got 2,000 concurrent sessions, well, the two node cluster is automatically not going to work because that's only for 50,000, right? And if you have essentials license and you're trying to do stuff like posture and profiling and some of the more advanced features, but you bought a bunch of essentials licenses that can't do it, well, again, it was designed from like wrong from the jump. And the problem is I see upper management trying to fix a design problem with great engineering. And that's just never going to work. So if you're going to implement any technology, whether it's ICE, Secure Access, StuffWatch, even if it's Palo, Fortinet, Checkpoint, anything, if you're not properly designing it, it is going to be wrong when you put it in play, right? Now, the problem with that, to further exacerbate the problem, not only did you design it wrong, but you now sent one of your engineers to a 3 weeks boot, not even 3 weeks, a 3 day boot camp, and expect them to know how to implement ICE 100%. You're never going to learn that technology or any technology in 3 days. That's just never going to happen. You're never going to learn like the nuances of the technology, the stuff that they put in the guides that are completely wrong because not all vendor guides are right, right? Not all vendor guides are secure. There's a certain concept called secure defaults. Well, anybody that knows anything about technology, when you put out a piece of technology, and that's my dogs in the background, by the way, if you put out a certain technology, unfortunately, they don't make them secure. They are put there for ease of implementation. In my next video, I'm going to actually talk about that as well, how ease of implementation can actually give you a security hole in your environment. So back to what I was originally saying is if you get somebody that learned, and I'm going to use ICE for now, learn ICE for 3 days, and you now have a multinational business and trying to do this multi geographical different location kind of implementation with a person that's only done it or even seen it for 3 days, well, of course ICE is going to have problems, and of course you're going to blame ICE and not the fact that one, you put somebody in a position to learn a technology in 3 days that is very big and very vast and can do a lot of things, and they don't cover everything in these 3 day classes. They don't cover everything in these week boot camps. You need somebody with experience in years to actually implement ICE correctly. You cannot have somebody that's did it for 3 days or for a week in a controlled environment, by the way, and think they're going to be able to, go around all these problems. Not going to happen. So to bring that back to the original concept, make sure two things, well, a couple things, more than a couple. One, you design it right from the beginning. Spend more time on the design. right? Measure a million times before you cut once. Then implement, right? When you implement based on a proper design, now you just have to worry about did I implement it correctly according to my design, and do my configurations match what my design is supposed to say? And then the key here is have somebody that actually knows what they're doing, that has the experience rolling out these technologies, and not, hey, I went to a boot camp and now I went to this boot camp and now I'm the expert. There's no way you're going to be an expert in 3 days or a week. It's not going to happen. So this is Donald from Padlock Technologies, owner and principal. If you need help with your next network infrastructure project, those CCIE, so, I did route and switch, or what they call enterprise now, security, I do service provider work, I do data center work, in terms of like layer 3 technology type of stuff. I do some storage stuff, but that's not really my thing. If you need some help, there's going to be a link in the description to do a discovery call so I can see what you're doing and see if I can even help you. Hopefully this video was informative. Thank you and have a nice day.